So, while they are working down in the basement on the studio, I thought I would talk about uh, one of the projects that I envisioned back when I bought the house. Um, I really like this dark furniture. I consider this kind of like a mission style arts and crafts type piece of furniture. And a lot of the furniture in my house is this style. Um, and this is something that I bought off of Facebook Marketplace. I know I paid well under $100 for it. I think it was in the $40 or $60 range. And this is what they called a knockdown wardrobe. Um, and the reason that they called it that was because if you took the top off, which was really just like the lid of a box, you could completely unassemble this because the back had hinges on it, the side, and the side would just fold in and it would come off of the base as well. And these were really popular back in the 19th century when people started moving across from, from one continent to another, and they couldn't afford to move large pieces of furniture, so these knockdown wardrobes became popular. They were also really popular because it was a lot easier to move from, you know, uh, upstairs when people were moving into a second or third or fourth story walk up. So it became very popular. This is also like the uh, precursor to IKEA furniture, really. Now, when I got it home, I kind of made it less of a knockdown because I put permanent hinges in the corner because I don't want to knock it down again. Now, it was originally intended as a wardrobe, and I don't remember if it had, if it originally had, this may have been installed in it or have come with it. I don't remember. Um, but it was never my intention to use it as a wardrobe. We have plenty of closet storage in the house, and there's only two people that live here. It's a three-bedroom house. So that was not my intention. My intention is to use this as a quilt display rack. Um, I've I've got a an addiction. Uh, ever since I first started quilting, I remember back in the 90s. If you had asked me what my favorite quilt color combination was, I would always say it was red, green, and gold. And I would further go on to say antique Christmas or vintage Christmas. That was well before, I mean, probably 20 or 30 years before I ever saw one of the red and green quilts that I now collect. Over the years, I have made many red and green quilts myself. It's just a favorite color combination. But now I collect the red and green quilts from the 1800s. And so that's what's going to go in here. This originally had doors on them. For a long time, I kept trying to fix the doors. Where the doors had been attached had been attached and reattached many times, and I'm sure that it could have been done, but I finally realized that I don't want doors on them because the doors would be in the way of the display aspect of this project, and so I just took the doors off. Um, I may find another use for the doors. They might end up as a shelving unit, shelved on the wall or something. They're not going to be used on this project. Um, Originally, I was storing them under this bed, thinking that I should keep them close by, and then I finally decided that I don't have to do that. I'm a big boy and I can make decisions. Uh, but this is the process. Originally, the inside of the cabinet was this dull color, wasn't the same dark color as the wood on the outside. So that was the first thing that I'm addressing. I'm using a poly shades in Mission Oak. The polyshade has both the stain and polyurethane in one coat. So you can see I've already done this side and the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and finish this side, the back and this side. Uh, Not while you're watching, but that's what I will do. And this is one of the pieces from the door. I'm going to cut two pieces so that they fit in the two sides. And I will cut the top and bottom at a 45-degree angle. And they will go on the two sides here. These will be used to hold these curtain rod holders. Now I could just go ahead and notch out a C shape in the wood and let the C shape be the holder for the rods that I'm going to use, but I'm not going to do that for two reasons. One is that I don't know yet if I'm going to use 3 rods or 4 rods, so I wouldn't be able to notch them out uh, until after they were hung, and I want to have that decided, ahead of time, or I want to go ahead and hang these. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these and attach them with both glue and screws. Once I get the 45-degree cut, it will already determine what angle they're going to be hung at. Then I have different rods. This one will have to be trimmed down a little bit because it's meant to fit exactly as it is now. But since I'm adding trim and these hangers, I'll have to trim it down to fit. But I have different rods from my house, my old house on here. I'm going to stain those with the polish shades as well, so it all blends in together. There'll be one at the upper position, one at a medium position, and then one at a lower position. That way I can hang at least 3 quilts in here. There may be one at the back, highest position, and then 2 at a medium, and then 1 at the front. That's all to be determined. So that is one thing. The other reason why I'm not notching those out, by having the wood on the side and then having these additionally, it will make it so that the quilts cannot extend all the way to the wall of the cabinet, and that will allow for a little air circulation inside of the cabinet. And I think that's always a good thing for storing quilts, just to make sure that we don't have a moisture buildup. I know, like, we're not in Florida, but we do have humidity here, so we don't want to get those stains on the quilt that are so prevalent in older quilts that we see when they're stored improperly. Um, and probably I will have some kind of cover on these also, like some kind of foam or padding, so that it doesn't get a good crease on it. It'll probably take a little while for me to complete, because I want to make sure that the inside of this is good and dry before I hang anything in here. I don't want to get poly shades on one of my vintage quilts. But I'm going to go ahead and poly shade the last 2 sides and get this piece of wood cut and hung on here, and then I can go ahead and hang my little curtain hangers, because I already have those put aside here. So that's going to be my project. I've been wanting to do this for quite some time because I have so many of those quilts that I've been packed away, and I really would like to see them displayed. And I think the darkness of this cabinet with those white background quilts, I think it's really going to stand out. I also have the possibility of putting some kind of downlighting in here, which would be very easy to figure, especially since they have all kinds of lighting now that you know is a battery operated with very long life. Or I could just put some holes in the top with wiring running through it. It's very easy to do nowadays. So I'll bring you back when we have step 2. You can probably hear that they are drilling down in the basement. They're still continuing to put up some of the last pieces of drywall. That's why I'm working on this extraneous piece of work. So what I did, I had pieces of wood that were left over from the doors framing, and I just took one of those and I measured it from the outside because the outside is the same size as the piece of wood that needs to be from the inside. So I just measured, laid that across the side at a 45-degree angle, and I was able to mark on the wood just one time the size of the cut I needed. Now both of the cuts are 45 degrees, and I have a chop saw, so I just set it at 45 at the 2 different angles, and was able to get a nice even cut for the edges, both the back and the front. Then I used liquid nails to adhere the wood to the frame, and I also put a couple wood screws in there just to keep the wood attached while the liquid nails was drying. After that, I went ahead and attached the closet rod holders. One of them is completely enclosed. That's where you put the rod in first, and the other one allows you to slide the rod down into. And I put that end at the left side always. And then after I was done, I went ahead and used my Minwax poly shade on those to darken them up so they match the inside. And I also did the rods. Now I know this rod on the camera, for whatever reason, looks like it's at a really funny angle, but it's the same as the rest of them. I think it's just because of the angle that the camera's at. So all of these are dry, and I'm ready to go ahead and hang quilts in there. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the camera for a minute and load up a couple quilts just to see what this beauty looks like. It's been I've been letting it dry for a couple days. I also had a little radiant heater actually inside the unit helping it dry out. So here we have it loaded up. Now I didn't go through searching through all the quilts that I have because everything is bagged and boxed up in the basement for the renovation. I just grabbed 3 things that were loose. But it's kind of apropos that this one was available. This one was in the living room because this was the one that started it all. This is a quilt that I bought in Los Angeles when I went out for my niece Kat's wedding. They were doing everything themselves. They were doing all the decorations, and so they had told me when I got there, even before I got there, that I was going to have to occupy myself while I was there, because they didn't need my help right away, and so they said just go out into the city and entertain yourself. So they gave me a couple places to go, and I went antique shopping, and I went to an antique store, and this is one of the things I bought, and this is an 19th century. It's made in 1914. The signature is RWT, but 1914. But I pulled the trigger on this one. Not in mint condition, obviously, but I loved the baskets. I loved the red and green. Some of the fabric is shattering, but loved it, brought it home. And that started the ball rolling. After that, my mom bought me one for my birthday, and that kind of started a tradition after that. I'll show you that one day and tell you the story of that, because it was a funny one, but not today. So this is it. I really like a couple things. The cabinet is very dark. Um, and I was a little worried even before I put the quilts in there that it was going to be too dark with no lighting in it. But I don't think any lighting is going to be necessary. I think the quilts are bright enough that they pull light into the cabinet. So I'm really happy just the way that it is. The quilts, because of their height, there is still some room down at the bottom that something could be stored down there. I could put a couple red and green quilts folded down there, which I might do. It could have a vintage suitcase or you know, like a wicker basket or something with some soft goods in it. It could have a couple books in there. Anyway, there's still a little room for storage. I wouldn't want to block it up too much because I said I want some room for air storage or air circulation to float around so that we don't get any humidity stains on it. And all of this is a mess around here because we still have, I mean, there's quilting stuff up here, there's quilting stuff down here, there's quilting stuff in Steve's closet that does not belong there. That belongs downstairs. But that'll all move when the basement's finished. But overall, I think this is a winner. So that's it for this little side project, my little knockdown, drag out project for quilting. So until next time, let's keep piecing it together.